welcome to The Burning of the Midnight Lamp, where we are dissecting music history, album by album, and track by track. And today we are continuing on our David Bowie journey on the album Hours from 1999. We have come to the third track on this album, a song called Survive, and we will have a listen to it before we start our discussion. Here we go.
Are my naked eyes? I should have kept you. I should have tried. I should have been a wiser kind of guy. I miss you. Give me wings. Give me space. Give me money for a change of face. Those noisy rooms and passion pens, I loved you. Where's the morning in my life? Where's the sense in staying right? Who said time is on my side? I've got ears and eyes and nothing in my life, but I'll survive your naked eyes. I'll survive. Dazzle plants every night. Wish I'd sent a valentine. I love you. I'll survive. Naked eyes. I'll survive. I'll survive. I'll survive. I'll survive. Naked eyes. I'll survive. I'll survive. I'll survive.
That track, Survive.
Second single.
Yeah.
And it's easy to hear why it was the second single.
Yeah, I feel I can survive with this chorus.
Yeah, it's an obvious choices for a commercial single from this album. I really like this track. I think it's maybe the highlight of the album for me. But I didn't think so when I was 19 when the album, or 20 when the album came. This was one of the Bowie being adult and more boring with the acoustic guitar and not making a all-night noise experimental like on Outside and Earthling. But now I'm older and in my 40s, and this song fits better now. I like it now.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I was also 19, and at the time I could also enjoy Neil Young's more quiet acoustic numbers. So but I always liked the song. What I think is maybe it could have been produced a bit better to make it more exciting.
It is a bit flat, especially. I mean, it sort of grows a little bit through the song. This later part, ending here, beautiful guitar lick. It's not exactly a guitar solo. Guitar theme that is repeated there at the end. We have the Morse code guitar that sort of resembles a little bit Wichita Lineman or Starman.
Or Starman, or in Buddha of Suburbia as well. The track. No, I listened to a lot of acoustic guitar tracks at that time, but it was more like, here he is, and lo behold, it's a power ballad. Begins quiet, and then there's the chorus with the more power guitar, and but the ending, I've always liked the last third of the song, where it just repeats I'll Survive and Your Naked Eyes, and the guitar that sort of longing guitar that goes on and on. I think that's the best part of it.
It's also one of the most memorable lines I have from his lyrics, like this Beatle boys, all snowy white, razzle dazzle clubs. It's who else than Bowie could sing that so well.
That's true. But what about the Passion Pants?
Yeah, but it also fits so well.
Noisy Rooms and Passion Pants. What are those pants? Always wondered about those pants.
These Noisy Rooms and Passion Pants.
Yeah.
They do need to correct one thing in the lyrics on Spotify, though, because I'm pretty convinced he sings "I loved you" and not "I love you."
They'll say that here on the other screen. It says "I love you." Yeah.
And that's a very sort of on the nose for a Bowie lyric. It's not too often that, direct, emotional.
But when he says it, he doesn't say "I love you." He says "I loved you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back.
Yeah. This is a song of regret of why didn't I send those Valentine cards, and it could have been us, and
It does have an interesting line in the same verse as Passion Pants as well, highlighted on our screen here. Give me money for a change of face.
Yeah.
It's something that is recurring for Bowie, what we could say.
Yeah. And there's these naked eyes he keeps repeating. It's your naked eyes and my naked eyes and the naked eyes. Metaphor for something, but could be. It's not a complete short story, but it has many other of those sort of middle-aged lyrics on this album. They give us some impressionistic snapshots from a mind in regret. Is this where my life we're supposed to go? Could have taken a different route. So I'm sitting here in my kitchen with the levitating table, quoting the video, of course, and being regretful.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the video. Again, directed by Walter Stern. Shot in London, showing Bowie sitting alone at the table, waiting for an egg to boil, as you do.
That's
Yeah.
what middle-aged men does.
And then the egg and table and chair and everything starts to levitate. Before it goes back to normal again at the end of the song. And that's basically the whole video.
Do you need anything more?
No.
Yeah, it's a good pitch. David Bowie boiling an egg. Levitating a bit. Yeah. But that's the single version, which is a different, very different, not just a different mix, but with new added instrumental parts by Marius De Vries, who did a lot of trip-hop indie production, many great tracks, but he took this song in a more trip-hop commercial.
I'm not sure he improved it. Talked a little bit about that on the previous track, that maybe the mix was improving a little bit on the album track, but I don't think that's the same here.
I think he tried, and I also tried to like it better, but I don't think the mix is quite where it should have been.
Shall we take a little snippet of it? Just to hear how it sounds.
And this is the one they put on the Nothing Has Changed compilation.
Oh my naked eyes, I should have kept you, I should have tried, I should have been a wiser kind of guy. I miss you.
It's an interesting opening. But I'm not sure it's more commercial.
Give me wings,
That's-
give me space.
Say the drums here and the sort of trip-hop beat, it sort of anchors it a little bit to 1999.
yeah, it's more a dated mix.
Whereas the album version is, in that context, more timeless.
I loved you.
Yeah, it's more timeless. Still would need another drum track, I think, with a more punch.
Where's the sense in staying right? Who said time is on
This
my
part is
side?
better than the original.
I've got ears and eyes and nothing in my life, but I'll survive your naked eyes. I'll survive.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but then there are these elements that are kind of discomforting. Doesn't really fit in there at the same time. So.
I like the opening of the single mix with the piano, and maybe that's what he should do with all these tracks, just like something in the air and just put Mike Garson all over it.
Yeah. Adding Mike Garson usually will improve anything.
Yes, it's like salt and pepper.
But there are some interesting things here that put it. Can compare it to earlier songs. You mentioned the acoustic guitar, of course, and that's made several Nicholas Pegg, amongst others, compare it to something that could have belonged to Hunky Dory, for example. And you also have the saxophone here, Bowie playing the saxophone, which he hadn't done for at least since Black Tie, White and Noise, I think.
No, he's on 7 Years in Tibet.
Yeah, that's true.
I just feel if it was on Hunky Dory, it would have been twice as fast.
Probably. So this song actually started out as Reeves Gabrel's song. It was a song that he had written for his solo album, Ulysses Della Notte. And he brought it with him to Bermuda. I think I made a mistake when we talked about Thursday's Child, saying that they went to Bahamas.
Yes.
But it was Bermuda.
It's Bermuda.
Yeah. And so it was recorded as a demo for Omicron, the computer game in London and in Paris Then it was later recorded in Bermuda. But the final version was in Mute Studios in London, 98. Looking Glass and Chung King Studios. There's a lot of recordings done, different versions. Sort of, I can imagine that it evolved a little bit along the line. It was also a song that the Reese Gabrels had to fight a little bit for to get included. They played it for Bowie, and they had used keyboard saxophone on the track to begin with. Bowie thought it was cool, and but then he lost interest, according to Reese Gabrels. And Gabrels suggested that maybe Bowie could play live saxophone on top of it instead. And that reignited Bowie's interest in it, and then it evolved from there. So it was almost...
He always likes to play the saxophone.
It's almost a lost song for Bowie's sake. It would probably have ended up on Gabrels' solo album instead.
So whenever you want Bowie to include a song on an album, ask him to play the saxophone.
Why don't you play the saxophone, Mr. Bowie?
I wonder if he caught on to that trick.
No. Nicholas Pegg, who wrote the complete David Bowie, he was always comparing to other tracks. And he describes the verses as somewhat resembling 5 years. Agree? Maybe?
I didn't hear it, but...
No. He also said that the video echoes the anti-gravity and kitchen scenes in Ashes to Ashes video.
And that is true.
Oh, I haven't thought of that.
The song was released on single, as we said. There were, as with Thursday's Child, 4 different versions of it. And again, 2 UK single versions and 2 international versions. The Marius De Vries mix that we just heard was on the UK single 1, along with the album version and the Stigmata soundtrack version of The Pretty Things Are Going to Hell, plus the QuickTime video of the music video. So that's a quite good single collection there. The other single was completely live. I think that's the red one there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there you have only live versions of Survive and Thursday's Child, and 7, all taken from the Paris show. And it also had a QuickTime video of the live version of Survive.
Oh, and this has the studio version video.
Yeah. And the 2 international versions, they were sort of mixes between the 2 UK single versions. I don't think it did anything on the lists. Bowie himself considered Survive one of his favorite tracks from the album, appreciating its authentic early 70s vibe, and that it was very joyful to play it live. And it is indeed the only song that he played outside the Hours tour, or the 2000 very short summer tour.
The only song from Hours that he took with him.
He played it 9 times on the Heathen tour.
Okay.
So it's played 30 times in all, which I think make it the most played song on the Hours album by Bowie. So so not a lot. And there are live recordings. I mentioned the single version that also came out on a live album, Something in the Air, live in Paris, 99, and at the Kit Kat Club, live in New York, 1999. Both of those albums came out in 21. And there's also a version on the BBC Radio Theatre live album that he recorded in 2000, which was included as a bonus disc on
Live at the Beeb.
Bowie at the Beeb.
Which is a very good version.
And it actually got quite good reviews as well. Author Paul Trinker calls the song a gem, simple and unaffected, almost scary monsters in vibe, without any of the over-complexity and overthinking that seemed synonymous with 1990s Bowie.
As long as he didn't say it was the best album since Scary Monster.
And Nicholas Pegg has called it one of the most beautiful melodies Bowie ever wrote. No less.
No less.
Well, the Ultimate Classic Rock placed the single at number 98 out of 190 in a list ranking every Bowie single from worst to best in 2016.
In the middle.
In the middle, 98 out of 119. That's near the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah. This was
Yeah.
190. Yeah.
No, 19.
Yeah, okay.
So it's only about 20 other singles behind it.
Yeah.
Well, it is in the top 100.
The top 100 Bowie singles.
Yeah.
I would prefer the overthinking of the 90s.
True. And you, what do you think? Do you prefer the overthinking Bowie, or do you prefer the more subdued acoustic Bowie that we hear here? Leave a comment below and let us know. Other than that, I think we'll leave it at that and say thank you to everyone who was watching us. We'll be back in a couple of days with the fourth track on ours, If I'm Dreaming My Life. And until then, we'll just say goodbye and have a nice day.
Good night.
See you soon.